FTT 211. Today's date is 26 July 2025. This is week 3 of the stock refinishing and metalwork lab. The goal this week is to brown the barrel. First thing we'll do is go over the stuff that we'll be using today, and then we'll go over the order doing the process. First thing is, throughout the entire process, I'll be wearing safety glasses. Once I am done sanding the barrel, getting out any kind of imperfections and scratches, I'll be wearing rubber gloves or clean cotton gloves throughout the rest of the process to avoid getting any kind of oils on the barrel. First thing we'll be using the sandpaper. I've got 220 and then 320 just to blend all the scratches out. Once that's done, we will clean the barrel with simple green to get any kind of oil residue off of it. And then we'll be heating the barrel up. I've got a torch here. I tried to heat the barrel up using the heat gun, and it just wasn't happening. I spent 45 minutes and the barrel got to like 135. That's just, it's not sufficient. It's too slow. So I'm going with a torch. It'll be really hot. It'll help the barrel get up to temperature. As soon as I get the barrel to about 200 degrees, I will apply the browning solution, and I'll apply that for about a minute per time. And then after the minute, I'll move to steel wool, and then we'll repeat that process anywhere between 6 and 15 times until we get the right color that we like. And once that's complete, we'll dump the barrel in a mixture of water and baking soda. And the whole point of that is it will stop the chemical rusting reaction. And I'll take that out, I'll dry it off, and then put used motor oil all over the barrel. Then I'll wipe that off, and then I'll seal it off with some gun oil. So the first thing I'm going to do is go over this barrel with the 220, try and blend any scratches or anything I have out. Kind of created this device so I can rotate the barrel using a really long clamp. I've got the lapping tool from last week, put in the end of the barrel here, right there. And I'm just using the rubber of the ends of this clamp for tension. And that allows me to rotate it. And we'll come back when this is all complete. Okay, so the barrel has been polished all the way up to 400 grit. I still see little scratches in there. I don't know what's up with that, but I don't have a lot of the experience blending scratches using various sandpapers. I was doing small step-ups the entire way. Maybe it just looks worse in person. I doubt it though. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and move on with this. I've spent about an hour. During my test runs, none of my thermometers seem to like to show proper barrel temperature. As we can see, let's see. So this barrel is showing 93 degrees and water instantly fumes. And I've tried a couple of these thermometers, so I'm going to have to just kind of go off the suggestions from the videos and the work. And the browning solution, if it immediately evaporates upon putting it on there, then I know I'm at the right temperature. If not, I need to heat it up more. So this barrel is degreased, cleaned, polished, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to heating it just to make sure it's above 200 degrees. Okay, we're going to start heating this barrel up. What I'll be using for application is a microfiber cloth. I don't think this barrel's 90 degrees, as that thermometer was wanting to say. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and card it off with the steel wool. And that's the first application. We'll come back once we've done several and see what it looks like. Okay, so as you can see, we've moved the barrel out of that little contraption I made. It was getting very difficult to get certain spots. And I also moved on from the steel wool. I wish I had a carding wheel. I hope some of this looks a little bit better, because I love the color, but I think it'll look a little bit better once I oil it. Now it's just ready to get put into my baking soda and water solution to stop the rusting process. It's carded, and let's see how it goes. And now I'm going to leave it in that solution for about 5 minutes. Okay, it's been 5 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and pull this guy out. Dry it off, and then I'll move the camera so we can see the application of the oil. Okay, so I already see a trouble spot. Let's see if I can show you. I'm just going to go ahead and own up to it. See that? Yeah, I had a plug there, and needless to say, that did not get browned, but the rest of it actually turns out pretty good. The color is really nice. Let's put the gun oil on there, and then we'll call this one good for the day. The gun oil I'm using is Vortec Friction Guard gun oil. So, as you can see, that's kind of weird, the tone that the camera puts on it. It's a deep purplish brown color. It looks really good. I love it. So that concludes week 3 of the stock refinishing and metalwork lab. We only have one more week left. This was really the last big task for the muzzle loader, which was brown in the barrel. The resources used for this week was pages 49 to 52 in the muzzle loader lab book by SDI, and then also the course lecture video, as well as the instructor's write-up. I took some notes afterwards yesterday, just to make it a little bit easier to put all in one spot of the do's and don'ts I learned post doing this. This is coming from someone who's got no experience with metalworking, no experience with woodworking at all. And I was able to achieve a good result, not great result, but if I were to be able to do this again, having gone through the first time, the results would be fantastic. Just a few things that I needed to tweak on my end that were a learning experience for me. Some of those was that turned out to be less important than I realized was the scratches. So blending the scratches on the barrel was a task. I never felt like I could get rid of all the scratches, but I took it up to the proper grit and I felt like I could still see scratches on the barrel, but after browning it, they all disappeared. So it's just getting those scratches to a fine enough sheen to where the browning completely eliminates them. So it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it if you see that. Obviously, if there's any deep scratches, you do need to work on those to remove them, but there's no scratches visible on the barrel right now. Number two, I don't know about all environments, but if you live in a really hot, dry environment like Phoenix, Arizona, I highly recommend a torch. The heat gun is just, it's not sufficient. It can heat the barrel up, but because we have no humidity, heat dissipates extremely fast. That's why we have such drastic changes here in the desert from day to night as far as temperature. And it's the same thing. There's just no air density to hold temperature in. So I went with a torch and it worked fantastic at getting the barrel 200 degrees or above and maintaining that heat. On that note, also try and time it to where you get to this course if you live in the Phoenix area in the winter, unless you've got a good air-conditioned place, air-conditioned garage to work in. My garage isn't air-conditioned, and it was probably 110 degrees the entire time working in here, so it was pretty rough. On applying the solution, I used a microfiber cloth. If it was a white microfiber cloth, it would have been fine, but it was a yellow one, so my first application, I noticed that the yellow was coming out of the cloth. I'm sure that's part of the caustic, the solution. The browning solution was pulling some of that color out with it. And so I immediately stopped using that, and I went to the blue shop towels as an applicator, and they worked fine. Also be aware though that these applicators soak up a lot of that solution very fast. So you don't need to go crazy. Don't leave your applicator in the solution in between applications. It'll absorb all of your solution, and then you'll be like me, where I was only able to get 8 applications of the browning solution. I wanted to do 15, but I left my applicator in the solution for like 3 seconds, and it soaked up almost half of it. And then finally, the carding process. I used 2 of the 3 options for the carding process. The degreased steel wool, I didn't particularly like how that was working. So I went with the synthetic steel wool pad. That worked really well. I think ideally you want a carding wheel. Last thing is you don't need a lot of experience to do this. They teach you everything you need to know, and don't rush it. As you'll see in the video, I used, or I missed a part on my barrel that needed to be browned. To the instructor, is it possible to spot brown it? So if I get more browning solution, can I heat that one little area up and spot brown that, and then eventually just blend it in and hope, will that work? But just take your time. It's a constant process, not a rushed process. And I think what happened is I started to get a little bit rushed throughout the process. And I think part of that was not knowing the temperature of my barrel. And you also see in the video that I switched how I was suspending the barrel. I started off with it was a big clamp, and it was working fine at first, but then I noticed I was missing little spots on the crown and also on the end of the barrel where the mounting screw goes in. And so I went to a suspension, which was much better, but I just wasn't taking enough time to really pay attention to every little spot, so I did miss a spot. And that's it for week 3. Next week we put on the sights, and then this is all done.